If a guy really likes you, he will not touch you. He will be afraid to touch you. He will be overthinking every little thing and action that he's ever doing with you. Everything will be scrutinized. He'll be reading into every little thing. He does not want to scare you away, especially in the beginning. If they really like you as a person and actually value you and want to get to know you and just don't want to use you for your body, they're gonna be afraid to touch you because they don't want to make the wrong move. They want to make you feel uncomfortable. They want the green light. They're gonna just keep their distance because they want to show respect and they want you to like them. So any little thing that they're doing, they're gonna read into every little action, every little move, every little thing. So if a guy is touching you and is being handsy with you and he's just getting to know you, or straight off the dome, first date, bam, touchy, 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 pudgy, I don't know about that. I don't know if his intentions are true. So be wary of that. If a guy is too affectionate off the dome with you, straight off the bat, he might just want to get in your pants. So.
She's a prude! She's a prude! She's an older lady too!
You know, I hate to break it to you, sister, but any man who's willing to degrade himself to the point of wanting to be seen with you in public is going to be interested in your body. It's called physical attraction for a reason. Now, any man who's afraid to touch you is either a simp or is fairly smart, mainly because guy number 2 knows the best way to stay away from infection is to stay away from your swampy gunk chasm of unholy discharges. It's not like it really matters anyway. Modern women have demanded that any form of physical contact should require no less than 3 different forms of consent. However, at the same time, they also want that movie fantasy where the confident man kisses her at just the right moment when he just intrinsically knows that she wants to pork. But you can't have that when you require a notary public for an average man just to be able to hold your hand. Hell, even with all of that consent, you can still sick the cops on the poor guy a week after the fact if you come down with a nasty case of the regrets. And there isn't a self-respecting man who's going to tolerate that. He would rather be alone, because trust me, sister, he ain't interested in your mind.
Oh, this is just so shocking. I mean, I must just be so monumentally naive.
You are.
I just went through the worst breakup of my entire life. My boyfriend of almost 5 years and I broke up, and this is the #1 thing that helped me get through it. It was literally like something just clicked one day and a flip switched. You do not want to be with anyone that does not want to be with you 100%. This is something that my friends told me and I told myself, and I logically knew, but it obviously still hurt, like there's still gonna be pain. But one day I was just thinking about it and how I was willing to put in so much effort and do anything to like make it work, and he was not.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
And this is no shade to him at all.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
But one day it just clicked that I was like, that's such an ick. Like, you don't want me.
You're amazing. You figured this all out already.
Well, yeah, that's exactly why he left you, sweetheart. He realized that living with you and your obviously self-absorbed nature wasn't worth the sacrifice of his peace of mind, his sanity, or dignity. Now, what you're saying is just pure horse malarkey. It's all in the language that you use there, sweetheart. If a modern woman says that she was willing to do anything for a guy and he was willing to do nothing, means that she either cheated on him and felt guilty after the fact, started complaining about her mental load, or got some sort of a job that made more money than him and she grew to resent him for being a poor. Now, we're talking about 5 years here, which means that man went through an intolerable amount of pure hell before breaking up with you. And that's if he was the one to break up with you. We all know that with modern women, it's pretty much a game of Russian roulette where every single barrel is loaded with either lies, fabrications, or omissions of the truth. She'll say anything to garner the maximum amount of sympathy while also trying to wash her hands clean of the breakup that she's responsible for. And here is the best part. Even though she's clearly lying, she can't even do that right.
Good, but I would say it's horrible yet terrible. Ugly yet disgusting. You suck.
So I'm supposed to be going on a date in 5 minutes. This guy I've been seeing all week. He's been like, we're gonna have like an all-day thing Saturday. We're gonna do brunch. It's gonna be so fun. Saturday, you're mine. And I was like, fun. I planned a cute outfit. I self-tanned to the gods. You know, I was like, okay, slay. Been seeing him for some time now. But he just texted me an hour before the date. I have to laugh so I don't crash out, saying that he f***ed someone else last night, and he would love to still see me if I'm open to it and talk about it.
I am Jack's complete lack of surprise.
Lady, you gotta believe me on this one. Take that man up on his offer. He is an honest Chad, and that's the hardest that you're gonna be able to find. He's a guy who can obviously get any woman that he wants, and he doesn't care about your feelings, but at the same time, he will at least tell you when he's porked someone else, so you're not going to be confused on his intentions. And his brain has obviously got some form of shielding to protect himself from your annoying idiocy, and the physical attention that he gives you will dull the ache of knowing that you have a legion of cats in your future. You gotta believe me on this one, sister. This is the best you are ever going to get in your life. Come on, woman. You're wearing pre-ripped jean shorts, your tan is obviously chemically processed, and you're airing out your dirty laundry on TikTok. There is no point in hoping to find a good guy. It's just not in the cards for you. And don't ask me how I know this, but I just know that after he broke the news to her, she spent at least 5 minutes debating on seeing him anyways. I mean, just one look at her and I can know that him sleeping around wasn't nearly as big of a deal breaker as she's trying to make it out to be.
So obviously I'm going to see him still. No, like, what do you think? What do you actually, truly think? Yeah, oh my god, I would love that. Let's talk about it over cocktails, you fucking weirdo. I'm so tired of the loser epidemic in this fucking city, maybe just in this world. But within the same 10 minutes, a different guy I know texted asking what I'm doing, so I'm gonna go forced makeup on myself. I'm gonna go do that instead. But I am, and I mean this, I'm one more fucking weirdo away from the biggest crash out that mankind has ever seen. So, you've been warned.
Lady, the only reason why we're in this loser epidemic was because you and your kind ended up diving into the dating pool and treating it like your own personal toilet. You made the active decision to go after men of purely unrealistic standards while deeming every average man to be subhuman. The only problem is that the men you want have options, and they're not going to be loyal to you because, oh, jeez, look at you. The most valuable asset that you possess has a shelf life of 6 years at the absolute most. And to be frank, it's probably less considering how many chemicals you insist on rubbing into your skin there. And it's come to the point where the only men who are willing to go out with you are either simps or other chads who will see a free opportunity to see you in less than pants. And it'll ultimately lead to a massive crash out in a series of massive crash outs as you increase the speed that you're going to hit that freaking wall. And when it happens, schmucks like me will find your cringe and archive it for the rest of time just for you.
You're welcome. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, don't mention it. Use that freedom in any way you like.
Have you ever heard the advice that a guy will show you exactly how he feels about you? Well, it's fucking true. If you're anything like me, there's been times when you have talked to a guy, been with a guy, whatever the case may be, and then wondered why they weren't following up or calling you or texting you or showing more interest, wanting to plan more dates, or just being faster about showing their interest for you. And the reality is that the reason they're not showing more interest is because they're just not feeling you that much. It doesn't matter what they said in the moment. It doesn't matter how they acted in the moment. It doesn't matter if they told you that they were going to call you or that they really enjoyed it, or, you know, they were going to follow up. Like, none of that matters. What matters is how they're acting right now.
I must have missed 60 minutes. What are you saying?
Oh, wow. If a guy's not showing interest in you, that means he's not interested in you, huh? Well, that is just such a deep and profound thought there, lady. You truly are a voice of your generation. And I'm only half joking when I say that, even though it should be fairly obvious. I mean, we live in an era where the true players don't even need to try to play the game, just because modern women are god-awful at the thing. It's kind of hard to play the game when you got the rules backwards there, sweetheart. You determine that any good-looking man that talks to you, you'll think it's going to be because he sees you for the unique carbon copy soul that you are. But whenever an average man talks to you, you immediately assume that he's some sex-starved incel who wants to violently take your life if he can't get into your pants. And it's those average men who have to prove themselves to you when the guys that you really do want will always get a free pass. And all it took for you to learn this was participating in the fine art of getting run through to figure out that if Chad isn't interested in you, he's not gonna show any form of interest.
The guys who I've actually ended up dating or being in a relationship with were so clear about the fact that they wanted me. They constantly asked how I was doing through, showed interest through text, through calling, through making plans, wanting to see me again, showing interest in the things that I liked and that I showed in my stories and, whatever app I was using that we were both connected on. Honestly, any way that they could connect with me, they did. Because that is what you call interest. That is what guys do when they're actually interested. So if the guy that you're interested in is not doing that, just move on. No, seriously, just move on because you are literally wasting your time.
Show a little respect. So how many men have you slept with?
Yeah, and how's that working out for you there, sweetheart? What you've described is literally impossible. There is no way that you can move on from a man that you find physically attractive and is currently pretending to talk to you. Every single time it happens, you'll convince yourself that it'll be different this time around. And once it's not, you'll pretend to learn a lesson and then repeat the same mistake over and over again. Meanwhile, you will reject the advances of any man who shows interest in you for reasons that are delightfully arbitrary. And you've already proven this with that rant of yours. Every man in this list of yours has been relegated to the past tense, which means they are no longer in your life. So it stands to reason that you didn't share mutual feelings for the men who were interested in you. But I also find it fascinating how none of these men who were interested in your day is going to be referred to as an ex. Now, you're a modern woman. Passing up an opportunity for sympathy is like passing up an opportunity for a free pallet of boxed wine. It's just not happening.
Wine was invented by the Romans for orgies. And orgies are not too much fun if no one wants to do with you.
Can we please normalize talking to people at the gym? I don't understand how we can spend hours of our day in the same room with the same people with a common interest and not even know their names.
No.
No, sister, sorry, that ain't happening. Talking to people at the gym is pretty much a death sentence for your self-respecting man, so it's not going to happen. But you know what is going to happen? Saying thank you to all of the fine members of the Bounty Board over on Patreon for their continued support of my work as I get content out to you fine folks every single day. To the fine members of the Bounty Board, I cannot thank you enough. All hail! If you're interested in supporting the channel, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content you're not going to find on YouTube. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment down below for you.
Okay guys, I need everyone's advice. Everyone sit down, shut up, and listen, okay? It's this game mode right now. Doing a very brief recap on the situation. I hung out with a guy one time on my birthday and we proceeded to talk for a good 2 weeks, and then the next 2 weeks he ghosted me twice in those 2 weeks on his business trip to Canada. This guy lives in Austin, Texas. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I hung out with him one time. I was in fetal position on the bathroom floor after this guy just never texted me back. Then I texted him, he texted me. I was too scared to text back, so that's where we're at right now. I have to text him back. It has been a month. It has been a month and I'm still oh my God, what the f do I do? Okay, so the new update. Oh, we also took a disposable camera on FaceTime. It floors me every time I have to say that too. You can laugh.
We ought to just videotape this, play it back in slow motion.
I got a question. How in the immaculate sideburns of the intergalactic space god Wamlagart, all hail, does a guy ghost a chick twice in 2 freaking weeks? I mean, how does something like that work? I mean, I suppose it's possible, but you'd have to be insufferable enough to the point of post-coitus regret, but good enough in bed that the headache is worth having twice. Now, I'm not saying that you're incapable of being ghosted by the same dude twice in 2 weeks. You're a modern woman. Your ability to screw up that badly is entirely plausible. But then, that's contradicted because despite the fact that he ghosted you twice in 2 weeks, you haven't texted him in a freaking month. And you've also been in the fetal position after hanging out with this guy once, and so you got bigger problems than trying to assemble a coherent narrative. And what terrifies me is that it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if this woman has a master's degree, and I wish I was kidding when I said that.
And I ran through the last 10 photos to get those photos developed by Walgreens, and yesterday I went to go try to see if they were available, and then I actually got spit on by a guy driving on a bike. And apparently there's a serial spitter on the loose in Nashville because about 15 girls reached out to me and said, hey, the same thing happened to me. Whatever, that's totally besides the point. So these photos are taking way too fucking long for my liking. I think I got them, like, I sent them in like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, come on guys, let's go. I have a wedding to plan. Are you kidding me?
I'll believe that when my shit turns purple and smells like rainbow sherbet.
Well, that's no real surprise right there. The fact that we have an army of chemically imbalanced morons walking around and randomly spitting on people seems to be on par for the course for today's society. I mean, it's kind of sad, but thanks to the decline of moral decency and the celebration of pure insanity, it's really no wonder why we're in this mess. It's kind of like using a disposable camera and thinking that you're going to get the photos back in a timely fashion. Now, personally, I thought disposable cameras died out around the same time as Gigapets and the Nokia N-Gage cell phone. I mean, we're not talking about fax machines here. There are just some things that are destined to go out of style. But my next question is kind of terrifying. I mean, what in the hell were you doing with a disposable camera? I mean, there's so many answers that I can think of that don't involve something stinky, sticky, or downright unsanitary. But you know what? On second thought, I really don't think I want to know.
So, I'm gonna take matters into my own hands. This guy, Austin guy, has a Bernese Mountain Dog, okay? One of the guys in my building also has a Bernese Mountain Dog. Okay, right? Cool. Actually, did have a little bit of a situation with one of his friends last summer, but I made that video like long ago, and I was told, even tonight, to like never tell that story again. And you know what? I was like, you know what? I will never tell that story again if you let me take a picture with your dog, Bernese Mountain Dog, and post it on my Instagram story so that this guy can see it on my Instagram story and then be like, oh my God, I do want to marry her and I miss her so much. Let's swipe up and say, cute dog. Yeah, so here are the pictures. Like, we look so cute. Oh God. She's not even looking at the camera on that. Like, oh my God, we look so good. Oh, that's not even a good photo. Okay, did we even get a good photo here? This one's like maybe the best, but I'm gonna have to Facetune that vein out of there because that's whatever.
Jesus. Scary.
Alright, let me see if I can get this straight here. You haven't texted this guy in a month, and you want to get his attention by posing with someone else's dog who just happens to be the same breed. And the only way to get this photo is to resort to societal blackmail against the friend of a dude you porked last summer, huh? And this is also you can get a photo of you with this dog on Instagram in the hopes that the dude that you hung out with once sees it and then immediately starts to think about getting into a long-term financial commitment with you? Lady, I have met dudes who were addicted to huffing paint thinner who had significantly better plans than you, and one of them involved hand grenade baseball in order to rob the ice cream factory, which was also supposed to end with the overthrowing of the government of Bikini Atoll. And no, this dude is not allowed anywhere near Skeeter's house. Idan's dog, Ampu, actually filed the paperwork for the restraining order. And I'm telling you, that dog knows his way around some legal forms. It's kind of uncanny. But when I have more faith in a bloodless coup involving an inhuman amount of ice cream bribing than I am with your plan has no chance in HE double hockey sticks of working.
So the advice that I need, I think, is do I just send that photo to him, or do I just post it on my Instagram story and let him swipe up and be like, oh my God, I miss you, let's get married right now? Because if I send it to him via text, he's a 5 a.m.er. He's not gonna respond till the morning. But if I don't know, guys, what do I do? Or we could wait for those disposable cameras because that literally has a photo with him. So yeah, but what are we thinking? Okay, yeah.
Lady, you're scaring us.
Lady, seriously, it doesn't matter. It'll be the same thing if you send him a text or if you don't. He's not going to care. He never freaking cared. And there aren't enough dudes you can blackmail to make him care. You're just someone that he can use when he's bored, and from the sounds of it, that is a rare occurrence at best. And let's just be honest here. You guys porked once and immediately thought it was true love, and this guy had to exile himself to freaking Canada on a quote-unquote work trip just to get away from you. And if he's going to great lengths just to avoid you, then just take the freaking hint. There's literally nothing you can do to get this guy to care about you. There's nothing worth caring about, especially since you're violating his privacy right now about talking about him in a video without his consent. Now I know it's different when you do it, but you just gotta take my word for it, sister. If this man had to exile himself to the 51st state just to get away from you, then maybe you should just take the hint and do nothing. It's the only thing you're good at anyway. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.